You mistake me for your judge and executioner, Brother Dominguez. Save yourself, if you're not too slow with liquor.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Assassin's Creed characters.
I hope this heals the madness in this land.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about Crawford Starrick?
I merely leave you to contend with the arsenal of your own employers. A life of hiding awaits you. Go, and wallow in your false freedom.
For this list, we'll be looking at our favorite characters from Ubisoft's massive Assassin's Creed franchise. Be wary of spoilers if you haven't played the games. Did we leave out any of your favorites? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Haytham Kenway.
Well, yes.
Ambush!
Haytham would have made one heck of an assassin if he had continued his training with his father, Edward Kenway. However, upon his father's untimely death at the hands of mercenaries, Haytham was taken in by a member of the Templars. He eventually became the first Grand Master of the Templar Order's colonial rite.
I have spent years investigating precursor leads. Tell me what you have seen.
Haytham is intricately weaved into Assassin's Creed history in more ways than one. He's the son of an assassin, an ancestor to Desmond Miles, and father to protagonist Connor Kenway. Haytham also nicely marries the connection between the Templar Order and assassins. He can find similarities in his Templar training to the lessons taught by his late father. Haytham's rich backstory is definitely worth looking into.
It's because the Order is born of a realization. We require no creed, no indoctrination by desperate old men. All we need is that the world be as it is.
Number 19, Mario Auditore.
Fortunately for us, the city is larger than its host. The southern gate suffers for it, so this is where we'll strike.
What fan of the Ezio trilogy could forget Uncle Mario? He instantly became legendary when he introduced himself by saying, "It's-a me, Mario!" Mario is a boisterous individual that is always welcome on our gaming screen.
Salute, Uncle. I did as you asked.
And quickly too, ben fatto. Now, let's teach you how to fight.
He's also so devoted to his causes that he led the Italian Brotherhood and the Monteriggioni. When Mario's brother Giovanni lost his life, our favorite uncle took his nephew Ezio under his wing to show him the ways of the Creed. By training everyone's favorite assassin, the mentor became a vital part of Assassin's Creed history. Mario's story came to a tragic end when he lost his life while defending his hometown.
To yours!
Number 18, Adewale.
It was the sort of rub I have learned to endure, sailing among faces of such fairness.
Adewale is another character whose presence extends to more than one game in the series. After being born into slavery, he found a means for escape by joining a company of pirates. But although Adewale learned their ways, he found himself in chains once more. After escaping bonds with Edward Kenway, Adewale became a loyal quartermaster.
Too many! We'll retreat through the storm!
He exclusively worked on the Jackdaw until he joined the West Indies chapter of the Brotherhood of Assassins. Adewale then became a dreaded pirate/assassin on the high seas. He met his end at the hands of Shay Cormac, the assassin-turned-Templar protagonist of Assassin's Creed Rogue. In his last breath, Adewale's regret over Cormac's heel turn made the villain briefly question his affiliations.
You have become a monster, Shay.
Number 17, Cesare Borgia.
How did you find it?
Mario Auditore, let me hear.
Ezio's main antagonist in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was an accomplished villain named Cesare Borgia. He was a nobleman and politician with a high military rank. However, Cesare's hunger for power overshadowed everything else in his life.
You risk upsetting the delicate balance of control we have worked so hard to tighten.
I appreciate all that you have done for me, but I have the army, so I am making the decisions.
He even became the Grand Master of the Italian Templar division by savagely taking out his own father. In true Game of Thrones style, Cesare had a very close relationship with his sister Lucrezia. He was also responsible for both the siege of Monteriggioni and Mario Auditore's demise. Cesare's insatiable thirst for power led to Ezio taking him down permanently. Good riddance.
You cannot kill me! No man can murder me!
Number 16. Aspasia.
I couldn't help but notice your talent for debate. Well done.
Socrates is an interesting character.
You know that classic moment when the villain is unmasked and the reveal shocks everyone? That's exactly what happened with Aspasia in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. She was a woman of great influence and intelligence. Her marriage to Greek politician Pericles gave her an elevated social position. Underneath Aspasia's public face, she led an infamous underground cult as the Ghost of Cosmos.
It's true. I was their leader, but only for a moment it seemed. When your sister came along, it changed everything we were aiming for.
She was also responsible for sentencing the Demos to an early demise. Aspasia also basically used an assassin to weed out the corruption within the cult while pursuing her lofty goals for humanity. In the end, her cult collapsed. At that point, the player can choose whether to end Aspasia for her various crimes.
I misjudged you.
So did I.
Number 15. Charles Dickens.
Here we are, in the world's most advanced city. Yet its citizens are so enthralled to the supernatural. They leave themselves vulnerable to charlatans.
We meet a lot of actual historical figures in the franchise. During Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which takes place in London, we meet celebrated Victorian author Charles Dickens. He meets the Frye twins and introduces them to the Ghost Club, in which members hunt for specters and supernatural occurrences.
Tell me, do you believe in ghosts?
Not particularly.
Yes.
They even helped figure out the mystery behind the spring-heeled Jack, a creature of Victorian lore. The game has a bit of fun with the fictionalized side of Dickens, as he finds inspiration for his work in his adventures with Jacob and Evie.
We are a beacon of reason in a world beguiled by superstition.
Number 14. Elise de la Serre.
Elise,
Haven't you done enough to repay my father's kindness?
Elise, please.
Assassin's Creed Unity featured a Romeo and Juliet sort of romance. Elise de la Serre had a Templar background. From a young age, she had been trained to fight and support the Order. Arnaud Dorian, adopted into the de la Serre family, had an assassin heritage and became one after training with a fellow prisoner during his time behind bars.
My father always meant for me to follow in his footsteps. Now all I can do is avenge him.
I swear to you, I had nothing to do with his death.
But you did.
Elise was essentially in line to become Grand Master of the Parisian Rite of Templars. She was a strong, determined young woman who was driven by a need for vengeance against the people who caused her father's demise. Unfortunately, we never saw Elise and Arnaud's romantic or professional affiliations last long-term, as she perished in battle.
Elise! 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 Elise!
Number 13. Aveline de Grandpré.
My name is Aveline. I seek the leader of these men. He calls himself François Macondal.
You seek him? To what end?
Born to a wealthy merchant father and an enslaved African mother, Aveline had a privileged upbringing. But she was also aware of the severe inequalities present in her society at a young age. When she turned 12, Aveline vowed to be a force against the slave trade, and subsequently began her training to become an assassin.
There is a smuggler, a woman named Elise Lafleur. She knows every bog and tangle of the swamp.
She fought the oppression of slaves by Templar factions in New Orleans, eventually briefly teaming up with Connor Kenway. Even discovering the leader of the evil faction was her own stepmother didn't slow her down. Aveline infiltrated the Templars, took them down, and helped rid New Orleans of its oppressive slave practices.
I'll hang you!
Number 12. Shay Cormac. A traitor he may be, but darn if he isn't sympathetic. In the game Assassin's Creed Rogue, we are introduced to Shay Patrick Cormac, a streetwise member of the colonial branch of the Assassin's Brotherhood. At first established as somewhat brash and doubtful, Shay's depths become apparent after an incident in Lisbon. The scope of the disaster caused Shay to join the Templars, who embodied his desire to help the innocent and carve his own path. Equal parts independent and noble, Shay's status as an understandable anti-hero cannot be denied. Number 11. Desmond Miles.
Nice to meet you, Desmond.
Right, well, it's been lovely chatting, but if you don't mind, Desmond, it's best we get straight to work. Time is precious.
Though seemingly ordinary, this young man proved to be a true hero. Introduced in the first Assassin's Creed game as Subject 17, Desmond was initially a pawn in a larger conflict between Assassins and Templars. As time wore on, his genetic ties to the mythic First Civilization and heritage with the Assassins became known, and Desmond grew to embrace his role in the ongoing war.
They're using it. Using me to search for something. Call it the apple.
Though cynical on the surface, Desmond's bravery and concern for others shines through, to say nothing of his willingness to sacrifice himself for the greater good.
I gotta say, after all the crap I went through at Abstergo, it's nice to be with the good guys.
Number 10. Jacob Frye. Within the brains and brawn duo of Evie and Jacob Frye, Jacob definitely is the brawn. While Evie is off seeking artifacts, he fights Templars' influences in London. Jacob led a gang called the Rooks to fight Templar blighters and assassinate various noteworthy figures in the faction.
You can't talk to me like that, you little gutterling!
What's all this then?
Oh, sod off! He's also the comic relief of the twins. While Evie brings stability and seriousness to the table, he provides a lighter and more carefree attitude. This is precisely what makes Jacob lovable, entertaining, and impossible to live without. His relatively brighter approach to life ensures that the twins' personalities complement each other as a strong duo of assassins.
Patience, Evie.
The gentle sound of opportunity passing us by.
Number 9. Connor Kenway.
Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
As the historical protagonist of Assassin's Creed 3, Connor, or Ratanakiton, doesn't lack for importance. From his perspective as a Native American, players are shown the struggles of colonial America and the comparable attitudes of the Assassins and Templars.
I made a promise to my people.
On the surface, an impatient man, Connor is more than meets the eye. He's humble about his accomplishments, maintains a strong moral compass, and is well-spoken in his views. Factor in his physical prowess in combat, and it becomes clear he's an assassin of many talents.
They have to die, don't they? All of them. Even my father.
Number 8. Aya.
You and I are pledged to violence. Now. And always.
Aya of Alexandria, aka Amunet, was one of the original founders of the Hidden Ones, later known as the Assassins. She worked in the shadows for Cleopatra while the royal battled Rome for the Egyptian throne. But everything changed when Cleopatra allied with the Order of the Ancients, a group that would eventually become the Templars.
I have 2 more names. The order can't be.
And how many more names after that?
As many as it takes.
Feeling betrayed, Aya and her husband, Bayek of Siwa, decided to fight against the Order with their own organization called the Hidden Ones. The couple was extremely close and very much in love as they continued their important work. However, Aya eventually left her husband and founded a Roman division of the Hidden Ones.
It was Eudoros. He died flailing in the baths.
I wish I had been there.
Number 7. Evie Frye.
What a pity. But no deviations from the mission.
Evie Frye is the brains in the aforementioned Brains and Brawn team she's on with her twin brother Jacob. Having taken her training seriously from the age of 6, Evie is the level-headed, more serious presence in the duo.
We will free London from Starrick. You have my word.
And my looks.
The two fought for justice within London. They were an especially great help to the poor and young that had been mistreated at the hands of the industrial leaders. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Evie searches for the Shroud of Eden in hopes of securing it for the Assassins, as her brother works to take down the Templar presence in London. She may be the more serious one in the duo, but Evie is also a serious badass. Number 6. Altair ibn La'ahad.
What is your name, brother?
Altair, son of Umar.
Raised from birth to be a member of the Levantine Brotherhood of Assassins, Altair does not lack for loyalty. His skill in combat and environmental traversal, coupled with his years of training, makes him a formidable assassin.
Tell me, what's your part in all of this? Do you intend to defend yourself as the others have and explain away your evil deeds?
Yet Altair's dedication goes beyond simple physical feats. As the years wore on, he worked hard to ensure the Assassins would be able to thrive in the coming years. From his days as a master assassin to his tenure as a mentor, Altair never stopped believing in the Order or its code. For that, he has our respect.
Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Understand these words.
Number 5. Leonardo da Vinci.
I work on the small portrait of a woman. I'm growing rather fond of it.
Famous painter, inventor, and mathematician. Yes, that Leonardo da Vinci. As a longtime ally of the Assassin's Brotherhood, Leonardo distinguished himself through his intelligence and creativity.
Ha! You are kind. However, even I can see that she is badly drawn. And that smile, overdone, meaningless.
Most remembered for his paintings, Leonardo da Vinci put a great effort into his inventions, ranging from flying machines to naval cannons and tanks. As a friend to Ezio Auditore and his family, Leonardo is as kind as he is ambitious, always seeking to do better and aid the world in some fashion. He's a decent man, plain and simple.
I managed to decode that parchment of yours. It showed me exactly what to do. Now all that's left is to remove your ring finger.
Really?
Number 4. Bayek of Siwa.
Hey. Let's go on a real hunt. Huh?
Assassin's Creed Origins introduced us to a pre-Assassin's world and showed us the birth of the Creed. Bayek of Siwa, the game's protagonist, became a fast fan favorite. After his son's life was taken, he sought to avenge his child. This led Bayek to discover the Order of the Ancients. Upon realizing how far their power went, he formed the precursor to the Assassins, the Hidden Ones, with his wife Aya. Bayek is also the last Magi, a force of guardians meant for defending the Pharaoh and Egypt. He is passionate, determined, and sympathetic. Those qualities made him a strong protagonist and worthy of being the driving force behind our beloved assassin faction.
And Rome will fall too. All will fall to the Creed, yet no one will know.
Number 3. Edward Kenway.
So what do you think?
It'll take some getting used to.
Whether a privateer, an outright pirate, or an assassin, there isn't any doubt about Edward's charms. Seeking to prove his worth, Edward set out to the Caribbean in 1712 and became a swashbuckling pirate.
Keep talking.
Over the course of Assassin's Creed 4, Edward shows himself to be a brave man and capable captain, yet remains attached to the ideals of fame and fortune. Thus, Edward's journey from selfish buccaneer to truly changed person is one we readily engage with, just as we engage with his more snarky and glory-seeking qualities.
Remember my creed, boy. A short life and a merry one, that is all. The world owes us nothing more than this.
Number 2. Kassandra.
Believe me, you will look back on this day and... Kassandra, thank the gods!
The much-loved protagonist Kassandra was a mystios, or mercenary. She was born as the half-sister to Alexios and daughter of Pythagoras in Sparta. Kassandra discovered the cult of Cosmos had heavily influenced her brother Alexios, known then as Deimos. Her quest to stop them from using him as a tool in their reign of terror led her to fight the cult and the Order of the Ancients.
You should have turned down this bounty, Talos.
During her travels, Kassandra proved herself to be a badass and a force to be reckoned with. She basically single-handedly rid Greece of the cult of Cosmos. Kassandra's also the mother of Elpidios, who himself is a paternal descendant of the legendary Aya of Alexandria.
There was no right decision to make. Nobody wins.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Ezio Auditore de Firenze.
Do you work for the church?
Not the church, no.
The last son of the Auditores is as tragic as he is steadfastly noble. Forced to watch his brothers and father hang under false pretenses, Ezio Auditore embarked on a years-long quest for vengeance against the perpetrators.
Vengeance clouded my mind. It would have consumed me, were it not for the wisdom of a few strangers.
Said quest brought him into the midst of the assassins, who in turn brought out Ezio's selfless and benevolent nature. In his 65 years of life, Ezio underwent truly inspiring character development, from hot-headed youth to melancholic adulthood to finally understanding his place in the world. Consistently a suave, good-natured, and passionate man, Ezio Auditore's legacy lives on.
Choose your own way. Do not follow me. Or anyone else.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.